I've designed some pretty cool guitar pedals that you can't get anywhere else. Here's how you can build them at home. Hey, quick note. Do you ever click on a video talking about how to get started with a certain hobby on a budget, and then that budget's in the like hundreds of dollars, or there's some equipment that they don't talk about that they assume you already have that's super expensive? I promise this isn't that video, unless you don't have a guitar and an amp ready to go. That could be a problem, right? But if you've got like 20 bucks, you could build copies of some of the most expensive, fancy, vintage pedals that you could possibly want, and usually you'll have enough left over to get a coffee to drink while you do it. Now, if you already know that, this video is still for you. There's information here for experienced hobbyists and total beginners alike. Practically every legendary guitar pedal you've ever heard of, from the Fuzz Face to the Rangemaster, the Big Muff, the OC2, and the Univibe, they can all be made at home for way cheaper than the original units cost using these right here. This is called a breadboard, and they're like $1 a piece depending on where you get them. They're great little modular effects units if you just need a circuit one time for recording. You need a Green Russian Big Muff for one song, and then you're not going to need it after that. You can build it on here for like a couple dollars. Right? They're great for prototyping final builds of pedals. Like this is my Freak Fuzz. You can see me demo it on my Instagram, right? But I prototyped this on a breadboard before I actually built it into a box. And they're great for just seeing what kind of crazy effects that you can get on your own, building your own circuits. There's also a whole DIY community online for making your own pedals, and there are tons of designs you can only get if you build them yourself at home. If that's something that interests you, stick around. We're going to go over 2 true budget designs that can get you started, and we'll go over some mods you can use to turn them into completely different effects to get different sounds. So a quick note about this channel. I got started earlier this summer posting short form videos on Instagram showing people how to create classic guitar pedal circuits for only a few bucks a piece on these breadboards. One of those videos blew up. This one right here. Since then, I've gotten tons of messages asking how to recreate certain designs, asking for tips on how to make your own designs, and lots of photos of messy boards that needed some troubleshooting. And I don't mean to knock that. If you want input on something cool that you're troubleshooting, if I have the time at all, I'm always more than happy to take a look at it with you. I feel such genuine joy, especially in the age of LLMs and stable diffusion, anytime I see these tangled, messy, jerry-rigged examples of human creativity. That's what this channel's about, and that's what I live for. So please, you can DM me on Instagram, you can hop over to my Patreon, you can join for free or for $3 a month. In either case, you get access to my Discord channel where we talk about DIY audio circuitry every day. All right, so the 2 circuits we're going to go over in this video are pretty simple, and they're designed to be manageable even by someone who's never heard of a resistor or a capacitor before. Both are original designs based on pretty common component arrangements and using really easy to find parts. These 2 designs are what I call the JFET Treble Booster and the Mu Drive. The Treble Booster is similar to the vintage Dallas Arbiter Rangemaster, but it uses some more modern components, and it's even simpler than the original, which is saying something because it's already a pretty basic design. The Mu Drive's a little bit more complicated, but I think it's one of the coolest sounding guitar pedal circuits that I've ever come up with. It really does a great job of emulating the sound of a big cranked vintage tube amp, but you can use it at bedroom volumes. So let's quickly take a look at the parts list that you need for building each of these, and then we'll get going. So first up, the Treble Booster is incredibly simple. You'll need 2 resistors, one at 4K7 and one at 10K. You'll need a 33 nanofarad capacitor, a 1 microfarad capacitor, a single 1K potentiometer, and a single J113 JFET. The Mu Drive is a little bit more complicated than the Treble Booster, but it's still pretty simple. You'll need 5 resistors, one 2K2, one 4K7, and one 10K, and you'll need 2 1 megohm resistors. You'll need a single 1 microfarad capacitor, a single 4.7 microfarad capacitor, 2 100N nanofarad capacitors, 3 of that same J113 JFET, and 2 of a 250K potentiometer. I prefer audio taper for this purpose, though you can totally use linear if you want. So one thing I get asked a lot when I make these videos is where I get my parts. I want to be clear, this video is not a sponsorship, but I am going to show you something that you might think is cool. One place I've ordered from a lot is called Small Bear Electronics, and I spoke with the folks over there before making this video. They had the idea of putting together these little DIY kits that you can use to follow along with my breadboarding tutorials. To be clear, you don't need to purchase these kits at all to build the circuits. They're just a single consolidated kit with all the components you need ready to go. Small Bear is not paying me. I'm not making anything on these kits. They're just an accessible option for anyone who wants to try out the designs and who doesn't have a workshop full of parts ready to go like I do. I'll say more about the kits at the end, but if you're interested, there are 2 kits available right now. One's for $15 and the other is for $20, but they gave me a promo that you can use for $5 off for a limited time that you can find in the description. Okay, so let's take a look at the schematics for these designs. If you find that you're totally lost as I go over the schematic or the breadboard, or if the terms I use go over your head, I've got another short video in the description that'll give you a super basic overview on common components and how to read a schematic from the ground up that anyone can follow. We'll start with the Treble Booster since it's simpler. I've chosen to use a transistor called a JFET for this design, which is different from the germanium transistors used in old Rangemaster Treble Boosters. My reasoning for that is twofold. The J113 JFET is super cheap and easy to find because it's still manufactured, whereas germanium transistors are expensive and are all new old stock at this point. The second reason is that I really like the sound of JFET amplifiers when they start to break up. Some folks have described them as having a tube-like quality. I'd love to look at some actual measurements that point in that direction, but if it sounds good, and it definitely does, then it is good. So this flag here represents the input from your guitar. We're using a basic 1/4 inch or 6.35mm jack on the board. The input goes straight to the gate of the transistor, and the gate is basically the transistor's trigger. It tells it when to generate a signal on the output. This arrangement is called a common source amplifier, which means the source of the transistor, or pin 2, is connected to the ground through a couple of components. This resistor here, along with R2, biases the transistor. This symbol represents a gain knob, and it bypasses the resistor with a 1 microfarad capacitor. The value of this capacitor determines which frequencies get boosted by the amplifier, and 1 microfarad is a good value for boosting just the treble frequencies of a guitar. This capacitor acts as a high-pass filter and a coupling cap. Its main job is to block any DC voltage from getting through into our output, which would mess up the sound in all sorts of ways, but it also blocks any remaining ultra-low bass frequencies that might have found their way into our signal. The output flag here just represents another 1/4 inch or 6.35mm jack on the way out. Let's breadboard this thing and see how it sounds, then we'll get to the even cooler mu drive. If you want a more detailed walkthrough of what I'm doing as I add each component to the board, take a look at my Instagram or in my YouTube shorts. I'll have a short form video where I walk through each component as I add it to the board and how it's connected to each other component. Alright, once we've gone over both schematics and breadboard layouts, I'll talk about some cheap mods you can do to transform these into other awesome effects. So let's move on to the mu drive. The mu drive gets its name from this little arrangement right here, which is called a JFET mu amplifier, and it's a push-pull gain stage that produces a huge amount of gain. On its own, it's a boost with a little bit of breakup, but if we place another of those common source amplifiers in front of it, it becomes a really beautiful overdrive/distortion pedal. You already saw how a common source amplifier works with the treble booster. The input goes here, the source connects to ground through a resistor, and then I've used another 1 microfarad capacitor here to boost the treble frequencies going in. That gives us enough gain to push the mu amp into overdrive, and it also prevents the distorted sound from getting too muddy. Once again, the resistor up top helps bias the transistor. This potentiometer is a voltage divider, just like any volume control, but in this case it acts as a gain control. This 10K resistor limits its range so that it still works when turned all the way down. This arrangement is that push-pull amplifier I mentioned, or the mu amp. The theory behind how this works is complicated, and to be totally honest, I don't even completely understand it, but it works and it works well. This is another decoupling cap to block voltage, and this last potentiometer is an output volume control, so you can get all the gain you want and then turn the final volume down to taste. Let's see what this looks like on a breadboard. so let's talk about some mods you can do with these. By swapping out that 1 microfarad capacitor for a 47 microfarad cap, and then connecting another capacitor from the output to ground, you can create a bass boost pedal with a little bit of growl for your bass guitar. You should adjust the value of this output cap to taste. I like 47 nanofarad as a starting point, but you might like something else. You can also turn the treble booster into a great distortion or fuzz pedal. By adding 2 diodes going in opposite directions from the output to ground, it becomes a JFET version in some ways of the famous electro distortion. I like using 1N4148 diodes here, but you should experiment. Different diodes create all kinds of different sounds. Lastly, you can take those same two 1N4148 diodes from earlier and connect them from the output to the input of the circuit to get a really nice fuzz effect. Alright, so let's talk about the mu drive. If you want a milder overdrive effect with a little bit of a darker sound, you can remove that bypass cap from the first transistor, which will reduce gain in the first stage, and it'll also flatten out the EQ curve a little bit. This almost sounds like a vintage overdriven orange amplifier. By leaving that cap off, connecting two 1N4148 diodes in opposite directions to the gate of the second transistor, and then using a 100 nanofarad cap to connect the other end of those diodes to the drain of that transistor, you reduce the overall gain while adding a ton of clipping to only the high frequencies. This transforms the mu drive into an unbelievably cool bass distortion pedal.
Once again, if you like what you see here, you can get these components in kits from Small Bear Electronics. The promo code in the description will give you $5 off for a limited time. If you're interested in seeing more DIY circuits and breadboard layouts, go check out my Patreon. It's totally free to join. There you can pay $3 a month if you want to support what I do and keep the videos coming. Whether free or paid, you'll get access to my Discord where we chat about analog circuitry every single day, and you'll get access to a backlog of some of the breadboard layouts that I've already posted there.